Welcome to Get to Know Your Nation, episode 42. Spain, España, the favorites of this year's World Cup for good reasons. They got a young, rising generation player. They got history at this tournament and a coach that can win. So, let's get to it. This is Spain's 17th World Cup appearance. They debuted in 1934, 1950, 1962, 1966, 1978, 1982, 1986, 1990, 1994, 1998, 2002, 2006, 10, 14, 18, and 2022. The last time they were champions of this tournament was 2010 in South Africa when they beat Netherlands 1-0 and claimed their first title in nation's history. So can they win their second World Cup in 16 years? They have a real good chance of winning this tournament. A real good chance. They're led by coach Luis de la Fuente. 30 wins, 8 draws, 2 losses. He was impressive with this Spanish team. Not all Spanish coaches could ever done that. Well, except the 2010, which they won the World Cup. But anyways, they could be the favorites I mentioned earlier. They might easily win this year's World Cup. Players to watch. One of those players that we will hope to see a lot of. Lamine Yamal, forward from Barcelona. He is the youngest in this year's World Cup. 18 years old. Yep, you heard me right. The 18-year-old is going to make his first appearance in the 2026 World Cup. He is a special player. A lot of people are going with this. Is he compared to Lionel Messi? With the way he's played in Barcelona, the way he has good movement with his feet, controlling the ball on the field. This young kid is going to turn this World Cup around. As an 18-year-older, you have a real good chance of winning this year's World Cup. And again, they won the Euros, I believe, back in 2022 or 25. Euros of 2025, I believe. Lamine Yamal was special in the Euros. So can he do it in this year's World Cup? And all pressure's on him because, yes, he's 18 years old and it's the biggest stage of them all, World Cup. Some players that are going to help him are Rodri, the midfielder from Manchester City, who's been really good with Manchester City, of course, since losing Gundogan, who left to Barcelona. But he was tremendous as a midfielder for Manchester City. He's 29 years old. I can still see him as a starting midfielder. It's a real good defense midfielder, plus a real good attack midfielder for the Spanish. Unai Simon, goalkeeper from Atletico Club. 28 years old. He's really good. He's their number one goalkeeper option. But there is another goalkeeper in mind, and I hope he's in this World Cup. David Raya from Arsenal. Look at the season he's doing over there in Arsenal. They got 2 wins away to win their first Premier League title in 22 years. And if he does it, I would add him in the national team in case if Simon gets injured. And David Raya, man, I would love to see him make his World Cup debut in 2026. Whenever that comes. And then you got defenders like Marc Cucurella, defender for Chelsea, 27 years old. He's a real good option at left back for the club. The real question will be for these players that I mentioned, are they prepared for this tournament? Mostly Lamine Yamal. Some of these players have already experienced the World Cup before, but Lamine Yamal, his first ever World Cup. So going over to Group H, they will take on Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia, and then they ended off with Uruguay. So their best scenario is obvious. This is the best scenario I could give to a national team. I already mentioned France, Argentina. They could go to the World Cup final. England is going to probably end up going to the World Cup final. Those are the best scenarios. Spain's best scenario. They beat both Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia, and then they beat Uruguay. I got them to the finals. And El España, campeones del mundo. That's, again, this Spain team is really, really good, I'm going to tell you. But again, that is when we get to the group stage predictions, which it's too easy for predicting Group H. But then the knockout stage, I do have a clear winner for this year's tournament. But what if there's a worst case scenario? Well, here's that worst case scenario. Even though they beat Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia, they draw with Uruguay. I think they would fall at the semifinals. I think they could probably at least fall in the semifinals, playing maybe France or Germany, whoever those two they could play with. But I think semifinals is my worst case scenario. But I think realistically, I think this is a World Cup champions. I think they could win this year's tournament. And with an 18-year-old making his debut, he's going to be special. But the one question again, is Lamine Yamal going to be ready for this World Cup? He's 18 years old. He's making his first ever World Cup appearance. And is this Spanish team the best nation to win this year's World Cup? And I think it's going to happen. I think Spain are the best team, the best nation for this year's World Cup. That is episode 42, Spain. Find out tomorrow who is episode 43 of Get to Know Your Nation. If you haven't seen my other videos, go check them out on my channel. Of course, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for more sports news.